I moved to Seattle this past summer, and every time I've talked to a skier or snowboarder, they tell me to go to Whistler. I did a little research and got hooked on the idea of going, but I didn't want to drive there, and I couldn't find a ton of info on if that was doable. So I did it, and here's my review. My Amtrak to Vancouver left at 8:30 a.m., so I grabbed my sport tube and made my way to the light rail to head to King Street Station. I eventually found the entrance and checked in, where they check your bag for free. Definitely make sure you sit on the west side of the train car for the best views if riding during the day. I was planning on reading, but the views were actually so nice that I spent most of the trip looking out the window and listening to Love Island Australia, which did help me acclimate to the language of the locals in Whistler. I haven't been on an Amtrak since I was about 7 or 8, but it is still a pretty great experience. It's way less stressful than flying, and it's a lot more comfortable too. The cafe food is mostly just microwaved, but they do serve regional stuff like Ivor's chowder, so that's kind of fun. We arrived at Pacific Central Station after about 4 hours 15 minutes due to a slight delay near the new Westminster Bridge. I grabbed my bag and headed into customs, and after a short grilling from the customs officer about the granola bars I declared on my customs form, I was greeted with a welcome to Canada. The next step was to catch my shuttle to Whistler. Unfortunately, the worst part in this journey is that the train times don't line up very well with the shuttle times, so I had just over 3 hours to kill in Vancouver. The good news is, you can store bags for about $6 American at the station, and the guy there even gave me a free map. I hopped on the SkyTrain to find some food and scope out my shuttle boarding station because I didn't really know where I was going. You can tap to pay with a credit card, and it's super cheap to ride the SkyTrain. I ate, then headed back to grab my bag and returned to the shuttle stop. I rode with Epic Ride Shuttle Services, which is not affiliated with Vail or Epic Pass as far as I know, and although it was a little hard to find because of the small decal which is only on one side of the bus, it was pretty great. The bus driver even could tell by the look of me that I would have to pee and told me where the hotel lobby restroom was beforehand, so that was nice. Definitely make sure to sit on the west side of the shuttle as well because the views are also great from the Sea to Sky Highway, and after an hour 45 minutes we were in Whistler. I stayed in the Pangea Pod Hotel because I'm cheap, and that was good enough as a solo traveler, so I'll break down what I paid for everything. The Amtrak was about $35 each way. I did end up rescheduling, so I don't have the exact price, and I made sure to pay for the flex price, but that's only like $4 extra. And keep in mind that Amtrak only raises prices as seats get booked, so make sure you book early. The shuttle to Whistler was $47 Canadian round trip after tip, so that only came out to $33 American. And then the Pangea Pod that I stayed in was $488 Canadian for 3 nights, so about $346 USD. The trip home is obviously pretty much the same in reverse. Once again, the shuttle times didn't line up that well with the train times, but I stored my bag at the station again and found some food. Make sure to arrive early when departing Canada since you do go through customs, unlike in Seattle. And our train actually departed 15 minutes earlier than what it said on my ticket. Also on the way home, US Customs boards at the border when entering the US, and they did grill me about the Lay's ketchup chips that I bought in Canada. But other than that, a short 4 hours later I was back in Seattle. I'd say overall, if you can access the Cascades line, this was a pretty awesome and affordable way to do a solo trip to Whistler, and if you can slide down snow, you definitely should go to Whistler.